Neil, you said the draft isn't for quick fixes, but two of your players, Dame and CJ, at least on social media, have been pretty vocal about wanting to upgrade the talent. Have they had that conversation with you, and what has that dialogue kind of been like?
Anyone that knows them knows they've had that conversation with me. But everybody also knows with me, I mean, I like to talk to players about players. You know, I mean, they know the league the way that we do, you know, and who can fit and who. And we've had some deals we've passed on because our guys knew what it would be like in the locker room. So I do rely on those guys because they are, you know, they're the future of the franchise and their opinion matters to us. But there's realities to what you can and can't do at times. And there's also times that you have to take a longer view. And it's my job to take more of a macro view of the organization because, you know, we've proven, I think, time and again, you know, I think, we sat in this room not long ago, you know, we were worried about making a trade at the trade deadline. And, you know, and I was an unpopular guy out on court one over there telling the guys about the move we made, and it resulted, along with, you know, us peaking at the right time and making the playoffs, which is everybody's goal. And absent injury, I think you would have seen a much more competitive series. So, you know, I've got to take what they're thinking into consideration. I value it immensely, and I've got to try and execute it. But at the end of the day, we've got to do what's right, not just short term, but long term as well. And what you don't want to do, Jason, is, you know, appease people in the immediate future and then take 2 steps backwards. And that's what we've got to constantly evaluate.
Did seeing how the team kind of flourished with Yusuf kind of make you want to add more bigs of that ilk, versatile passing, kind of can do it all?
No, it's not that. I mean, you know, we've had some bigs here that could really pass the ball and play. We've been lucky that way. But I don't think it was about that. I think what Yusuf did was he accelerated this because we are a much more competitive team today than we were back in February. And we've solidified a position that, you know, we were a little bit uncertain of. So that we've got Dame, we've got CJ, we've got great depth, we've got good guys, and this is really just about you go into the draft to get the best player you can possibly get. And if the guy gets to you like a Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum getting you at 6 and 10, then that's the move. If you identify a player like Zach Collins as the best player you can realistically get, you move your chips in and go get him. You know, look, I mean, I think we were prepared for the draft in a way that had we not been able to do this, then we would have gotten a really good player at 15 and a really good player at 20. It's just we felt like Zach's value exceeded that of those 2 picks when they were looked at independent of one another. So it wasn't really positional. It was really just more, we think he was the best player on the board. We moved up to get him. And then we did whatever we could to make sure we got 26 right as well. And we were very lucky because Caleb was the last guy standing on the board above our candidates at 26.
Was Zach at the top of your list, realistically, where you guys fit into the draft?
In the realistic category, yeah. I mean, I think we all knew there was no way anybody was cracking the top 6, absent, you know, the move of a potential all-star to get into that group. I mean, that was back, I mean, from March, everybody knew who the top 6 in this draft was going to be. I think we all knew the draft started at 7. So we had him, he was the guy we were going after that we could reasonably have an expectation with our assets to go get.
How would you rate the way you guys handled the draft tonight?
I don't rate it. I mean, you know, I think Ben Falk, who used to work for us, who's probably smarter than all of us, you know, talks about it's a fool's errand to rate the draft. And tomorrow there'll be draft grades, and they're fun, and it's entertainment value. But, you know, I get upset when, not myself, but, you know, when a team gets picked on for what they're doing in the draft, because nobody ever knows. You just don't know who ends up panning out and who doesn't, and decisions that are questioned today based on projection isn't necessarily what happens 2-3 years down the road on production. I mean, I've been through drafts where, you know, we took guys up in the upper part of the lottery and got A's for those guys, and guys we took in the 2nd round ended up being better players. So, you know, I think if you really want to do this, you have to send the grades out at the end of their rookie scale contracts and give them time. I mean, we have some guys that got drafted tonight that are going to take some time to develop. But that's the job. You know, you take the guys with the upside, you develop them, you maximize their potential, and that's when you have to look at the draft. I mean, I think the only thing that's really fair is if you've graded trades for existing players, because now you've got a fair sample size.